We start with a point.
Hi, it's Rob Bryanton, the Imagining the 10th Dimension video blog, and we're starting out today just looking at something that people of my generation know very well, television noise. Nowadays, if you try and tune to a channel that doesn't have anyone broadcasting on it, you very often see a blue screen, but if you can see this kind of noise, what you're seeing is actually a representation of the cosmic microwave background noise. And this is something that goes back to 400,000 years after the Big Bang and the surface of last scattering. If you look that up in Wikipedia, you'll find some interesting things about that. So today we're going to be reading from the blog. This entry is called Going to the Light, and it starts out with a Wikipedia article on white noise that I'm going to quote from. It goes like this. White noise is a random signal or process with a flat power spectral density. In other words, the signal contains equal power within a fixed bandwidth at any center frequency. White noise draws its name from white light, in which the power spectral density of the light is distributed over the visible band in such a way that the eye's three color receptors, cones, are approximately equally stimulated. An infinite bandwidth white noise signal is purely a theoretical construction. By having power at all frequencies, the total power of such a signal is infinite, and therefore impossible to generate. In practice, however, a signal can be white with a flat spectrum over a defined frequency band. So that's from Wikipedia, the article on white noise. There's a lot of connections in the above to what we've been talking about here with the Imagining the 10th Dimension project. In entries like randomness and the missing 96%, unlikely events and timelessness, and imagining the omniverse, we've talked about the 10th dimension as being all possibilities existing simultaneously, an unfolded symmetry that, like a pencil balanced on its tip, is always ready to fall one way or another and create a pattern or create a universe. In my book, I also compare the 10th dimension to white noise or white light. Here's how I end Chapter 1. In the picture we've constructed here, the 10th dimension, when viewed by itself, becomes quite uninteresting compared to the multitude of possibilities that are generated when we descend down to the dimensions below. Speaking poetically, the 10th dimension is like white noise, an endless field of all colors and vibrations blurred together. Because it encompasses all possible realities without delineation between those realities, it's like a void. Where things do get interesting is when we cut cross-sections out of that formlessness to view some specific aspect. Like our two-dimensional flatlander viewing the feet of a human creature visiting from the dimension above as 10 lines that become 2, there's no way for anyone in a dimension less than 10 to perceive all of the possibilities that the 10th dimension contains. In any dimension lower than 10, all that can be viewed of reality is cross-sections. But that is what makes our existence so interesting, not the infinite white noise of possibilities, but that out of all those possibilities that could be, we're in this very specific one, right here and right now. I think the connection of white noise or white light to infinity in the Wikipedia description we just looked at is very interesting, since I've talked about the 10th dimension in those terms as well, and how each spatial dimension has its own version of infinity. As I've said in entries like, is there more than one infinity? Can there be a positive and negative infinity? And why stop at 10 dimensions? A very important phrase to remember is, there are many roads to infinity. Thinking about the 10th dimension as white light, then, brings to mind a metaphysical connection as well. What are we talking about when we hear that a dying person or a departing soul should go to the light? In The Big Bang and the Big O, we quoted Oscar Janiger, who described death as a return to the fundamental substrate of all things, another way of describing the outside-the-system qualities of the 10th dimension. In entries like Elvis and the Electrons and We Start with a Point, we've talked about how this works from a physics standpoint. In entries like You Are Me and We Are All Together and I Know You, You Know Me, we got more specific on how this could be related to ideas of all awareness being aspects of the same connected whole. But, as we just discussed in entries like Do You Believe in Ghosts and Have You Ever Seen an Aura, The idea that there is more than just the physical world we see around us is a concept that some people can accept and others cannot. I have to presume, dear reader, that if you have made it this far, then you are willing to at least consider the possibilities. To finish, here's one of the 26 songs I wrote for this project, and it's about the tiny little hints we catch, fleeting glimpses of, that suggest to us that the universe is even more strange and complex than we've been led to believe. The song is called From the Corner of My Eye, and invite you to tune back next time. Next episode is going to be called Slices of Reality. My name is Rob Bryanton from the Imagining the 10th Dimension video blog. Enjoy the journey.
From the corner of my eye, I saw it. I thought I caught a glimpse at the edge of sight. Just a tiny inkling, very hard to see. A flutter like 1,000 wings in flight. In the corner of my mind, I questioned, well, how could there be more than this world of ours? Just a trick of vision, disorder of the mind, a pattern of tiny twirling stars. At the corner of my eye, from the corner of my eye, I saw the dance and spin over the world within. Such a mystery. From the corner of my eye, hidden in the folds, those are the worlds untold. How can it be? In the corner of my heart, I felt it. Oh, there's so many worlds that we cannot see. Just around the corner, hard for us to turn. Angels dancing endlessly. At the corner of our eye, from the corner of my eye, I saw the dance and spin over the world within. It's such a mystery. From the corner of my eye, hidden in the folds, those are the worlds untold. I ask you, how can it be?
Hi friends, just a reminder that you can now buy a 6 DVD set of my video blogs at 10thdimension.com/store.